All right, now we're over here at the table and we're gonna start putting some handles on. I'm gonna show you how we do our camp mug handles, but I'm also gonna demonstrate some other techniques. So I've extruded these pieces out, long sections of these, and then I cut them down to 5¼ inches. If you look, I've written down 5¼ inches on the back of my mold. Okay, so my little handle molds, they are just 2x4s. I ran through my table saw, thinned them out a bit this way, knocked down some lines this way, used a router, curved them up. I've got other shapes, and on the backs of all of those shapes, I write down the length of handle stock that it takes to make it work. So this is something that not only do I do, but some of the other members of our studio manage this whole technique, and you get good consistent results, and it's pretty fast. And what we do is just gently place these over here, and then I just give them a little squeeze and let them set. We stiffen those up, and then we use them when the time is right. So I've got these other ones that have been sitting out and they're ready to be used. So from here, we're gonna use a couple of other tools. I've got a scoring tool, got a cookie punch, got a foam brush, a bristle brush, and a ball stylus. But I don't have my fucking mug. Okay, so now I have a mug also, we're ready to go. I use this foam brush to size out my, my handle placement. So right here and right here, just above this line and just below this line. I'm gonna give that a little score action. Move from there. To prep my handle, I like to cut the radius. So this is about the radius of this mug. So I like to cut that into here just to make it easier. So a little bit there, a little bit there. I don't use slip for this. I just dip it, the very, very tip of that into water. Wiggle it into place. Like so. Little wiggle, wiggle, little wiggle, wiggle. Grab that thing. I like to leave a little divot for the glaze to act on. And same thing down here. So if you were to leave it just like that, you wouldn't have very great results. You'd have cracking right where all that extra slip is at. So I found the best way to avoid that is just kind of dig that out right now. So I take that away all the way around. So I go ahead and dig that around. If need be, I'll take a little bristle brush and just clean up the edges. Don't want to leave a bunch of water in there, but we can knock down the sharp spots. All right, so from here we wait until the mug pops off, we'll flex it, and then we will go ahead and trim it and stamp it. And here is a finished mug. We're gonna do this on the next one. Anywhere from 15 to 25% of my day is spent looking for tools that are just right where I left them, and I don't remember how they got there. Okay, so we also do a tapered pulled handle on some of our mugs. A little bit more work, but I will show you how it happens. We do with about 2.5 grams of clay, so that's 2.9 right there. That's 2.6, so that'll work. We roll this guy into a ball. And if you see, I've got my little handle corner laid out. And there's a lot of little steps here, but every step is measured and checked, and it ensures consistency. So I'm gonna roll this into a tapered plug. Like so. I'll take this piece of masonite, help me get it nice and even. And we're gonna be aiming for about 3.5 inches. So you see right here, my 3.5 inch mark. All right, good shot, makes it look right. Normally we would do these in sets of 16, but for this I'm just gonna do it in one single handle. So I will flatten this out into my blank. I'll cut a little bevel on the front right across this line. This is what helps keep everything consistent when we're doing large batches of them. And then I'll snap this off right here, make it clean. We're gonna take this over to the table and we're gonna pull it and get a good shot of that. All right, so when I pull handles, we're gonna go ahead and score the top. I'm gonna score my bottom. Same thing, I don't use slip in this application here. This clay is really plastic right now. It just has to be forced together, a little tiniest bit of water. Just a little touch is all it takes. And I will start here and I will roll this in to get a good, strong connection. Roll that in and then press with that thumb and finger, switch to my other hand. I don't know if we can see this here. Other hand, press with that thumb and finger. All right, so we're on there pretty good right now, but until we kind of seal that line, you don't have the good suction that's going to keep it in place until, for the pulling process. So what I do, all right, so we're going to just cut this off. Do the same thing on top. I got that, that. Same thing on the other side. So many little steps. Your customers want consistency. I know it's fun to just make things and not worry about consistency, but really at the end of the day, if you're a professional, you got to be consistent. Okay, so we got this going on right now. Now we're just going to do the typical pull. I leave all of my mugs attached to the bats so that you don't have to handle them when you're pulling or attaching handles in any way. All right, it's pretty good. I like to give it a little groove down the middle, something for that glaze to work on. Take this guy and we'll make that connection right there. So finished handle, beautiful, right? No, not finished handle. We're gonna roll this thing into position. This is where you get the final finishing touches on the shaping. Alrighty, gotta think how many fingers you're gonna want in this thing. Not too bad. I'll normally leave these upside down to set and then flip them over the next day. Attaching the handle to the inside of the mug, this is a public service announcement for potters. Don't do that. It's terrible. It looks terrible. Can't flip them over. It's just not a good look. Not a good look. That's the, is the handle thirsty? Is it trying to get, All right, I'm gonna show you guys how to pull another kind of handle. It's a chunky handle. Boss quality control around here. Not a big fan, so we don't do a lot of these, but maybe more in the future. All right, so getting these chunky handles together, you don't have to be as precise. We'll roll this guy into a little plug, something like so. Kind of squish it a little bit. Roll that guy out and roll that guy out. So not much to it, just a little regular handle plug. We're gonna go ahead and score this thing right like so. And about there. All right, same way I attach all of my handle plugs. Go ahead, we're gonna squeeze that right in there. And I'm gonna divot that, Okay, so instead of using a stylus or a Kemper knife to seal this in, I'm just going to use a brush. And this normally works out all right too. Occasionally I'll pull them all the way off when we're working on them. But these are kind of a sloppy style of handle, so. All right, so I'm going to pull, but I'm not going to pull off the end because I want to leave kind of an extra mass to attach the bottom of the handle to the mug. So Go ahead and do this here. This is going to be a fairly stout 2-finger, kind of a, think of it as a dumbbell shape, thinner in the middle, bigger on the ends. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stick that like so. Move it around a little bit. Ensure we got good connection. Push that guy out. All right. So I'm going to pull this out a little bit this way. I'm going to pull it out a little bit that way. I'm going to roll it in. And this is where you can really do the cool stuff with handles. You know, you don't have to just leave them, stick that handle on and just walk away. You can push this thing around, make those cool little grooves for glaze to land in. All right, so that is a chunky handle. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. Hope everybody learned something, but remember, it's just mud. Well, thanks for watching. If anybody has any questions, you can email me at eric@bealepottery.com and follow us on Instagram.